So if you have any birthdays in August, then your birthstones are going to be the Peridot and the Sardonyx. Kind of rhymes. But that also happens to be my birthstone as well. And Sardonyx is, I thought we start with that first, just because it's not a very common gemstone, but it was like a special favorite, ultra favorite of the ancient Romans. All right, so it's got a bunch of beautiful layers to it. And onyx was named, it was Latin for nail, so fingernail. And it actually is this natural color. And so onyx typically is black, but they actually dye it to make it that color. This is how it's supposed to look like. And Sardonyx specifically is more red, or it's got a bunch of colors like this. And throughout history, it was carved into these beautiful cameos, which we'll get into that later. But I thought I'd start with how the hardness is on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the hardest and 1 being the softest. And it is a 7. So this stone is a variety of chalcedony, which is crystalline quartz. And what's the main ingredient in this stone is silica, and it also has bits of morganite in it. And it also it's basically quartz fibers, so it grows inside the rocks, so in the small crevices. And this stone is mined in India, Brazil, Uruguay, Germany, and the Czech Republic. And it was also mined in Madagascar. Well, I mean, I'm not surprised because Madagascar is like a powerhouse of beautiful gems. And it's also mined in the United States as well. We do have some cool gems in this country too. So, pricing. Sardonyx is like cheap. So it's like $5 a carat. So great. If you want to get Sardonyx, the only issue is that it's kind of hard to find because it's not a really common gemstone. It took a while. I was able to find one guy that had it, which I'm grateful for because I did need it for this piece I was working on. It's this silver ring that I made. A silver gents ring that had a custom carved Sardonyx in it. This ring, I was trying to recreate what a church would look like, and Sardonyx was just really great because this stone right here, it reminds me of a sunset. Sardonyx, throughout history, was carved into cameos, and it was also made into wax stamps because it was the only gemstone at the time that did not melt with the wax. So it can handle... I've been looking for some wax stamps made out of Sardonyx, but I have yet to find any, but that would be cool if I was able to find some. I did see like a couple pictures, but like, I don't know. I wasn't able to get a good close-up of it. But yeah, I hope to find some for myself. I do think the idea is cool because I have a wax seal stamp collection right now. The ancient Romans, yeah, they carved in their wax seal stamps, but they also made it into cameos, and they carved it into their signet rings. And they was set in gold. Specifically, would pick out the reddest they could find of this gem and set it in the rings. And so they would wear their rings while they're in battle because it was linked to protection and courage. It's also symbolized confidence and emotional balance, clear communication, and relationship harmony. And yeah, all those things are just great because I could definitely, could use some of that this month too. So it's a good gemstone to have if those things resonate with you. And now some of the famous Sardonyx throughout history, again, ancient Romans, there was this cameo called the Gemma Ostia. It was this beautiful carved cameo. So another cool famous Sardonyx, again, also in the ancient Roman times, around 23 AD. This was called the Great Cameo of France. I'm not sure why, but... So it shows all the colors of the Sardonyx. And it shows the whole family and all the notable figures of this era. But the guy in the center is Tiberius, And alongside of him is his mother and the wife of Augustus, Livia. The divine Augustus he's on the upper part of the carving, and his head is veiled and is encircled by a crown. How meticulous they were, yeah, I really like it. I hope to see it in person one day, but at least we got photos of it. It's the largest cameos that was able to survive the ancient world too, which is also really amazing. So now for Peridot. This gemstone, I'll start with my smallest Peridot that I got right now. And this is also a 7. It's really good hardness for a gemstone. So that's what both the Peridot and the Sardonyx have in common also. I thought I'd show this bracelet I got. It's a silver Peridot bracelet. I got it when I was 12. My dad gave it to me. And so, no, it's not related to the gem, but the silver in this bracelet, I actually am kind of allergic to. And I can only wear it for like a couple days, or actually sometimes no more than a day, and then my wrist would break out. So I honestly thought I was allergic to silver for years. Until I got into the jewelry industry, and I got to wear some silver that was mined from in America, and I was fine. So I'm telling you this because I know a lot of people are allergic to silver, but they may not actually be allergic to silver. It could be the alloys. So this bracelet was made in China, so the Chinese silver is different than American silver. They have different alloys that they mix into it that don't agree with a lot of people's skin, including my own. So no offense, China, but your alloys are not, what you're mixing there is not working out for plenty of people here. So maybe try some other different base metals or something. But I would suggest go to a jewelry store and try out their silver. And you could, if you're able to, try to wear it as long as you can. If you're really sensitive, you might break out immediately. But try it, and if nothing happens, then it could be just the silver that you're buying it from. So I would suggest, if you want to have a jewelry collection which you can wear, do invest in some more high quality pieces, and especially from jewelry stores that have metals that they do get from American sources specifically, and instead of just going to any drugstore and buying their silver, because you never know what they're using in there. But yeah, just thought I'd throw it out there, and this is something I personally discovered, but it might help you out. And so pricing for Peridot, now it can range around $100 a carat, which is what I have right here, or the more larger Peridot. Those can actually range around $900 a carat. So it's alright. It's not too much, but it can't exponentially get much larger, but it's not quite like some of the other gemstones. So this is my larger Peridot that I got, and this actually is it's not a brilliant cut. It's actually like a checkerboard cut, and I just have it. It's a carat size, and I just thought it'd be a lot of fun. So now, some of the cool stuff about Peridot. Peridot, a lot of people kind of have mixed feelings about it, especially it being their birthstone, and I went through this phase where 11 or 12, I really was obsessed with the color lime green, and Peridot is also lime green. But it also, the more expensive Peridot actually can be more olive green. The darker it is, the more expensive it is, unless it tends to veer to the more brown color, then that becomes less valuable. Still pretty to look at, it's definitely more earthy tone. Peridot is usually known to be more of this color, lime green. Anyway, so yeah, I went through that phase, and then I went back to my original favorite color, which is a light pastel yellow, a lemon yellow. I remember feeling kind of, not disappointed, but like, I love Peridot, that I'm like, meh, I kind of wish it was like emerald or sapphire or something. But now I really appreciate it after doing the research with Peridot, and now to me it's a really cool gemstone. you might actually change your mind about peridot. So first things first, the peridot's chemical properties are magnesium iron silicate. The less iron, then the peridot is going to be more green. The more iron it is, the more brown it is. Iron is a huge factor in gemstones that changes colors drastically in a lot of gemstones. You really can determine how dark or light you want a gemstone based on how much iron it's got. So on the NASA Stardust probe, when it came back, it actually had some comet dust on it. And they were able to investigate it and found that it actually had some peridot pieces in it. And peridot was also found in meteor craters also. So that means peridot is actually also in outer space too, somewhere. Which I think is really awesome. But anyway, yeah. So where peridot was mined is in Pakistan, Myanmar, and China, and the United States. So some of the other cool stuff about peridot is that it definitely was really involved in ancient Egypt. The ancient Egyptians found this island called Abragad. I probably didn't pronounce it right, but it's also, now it's called St. John's Island. Ancient Egyptians they found all this peridot, which they thought were emeralds, but actually they weren't, but that's what they thought at the time. So what they did was they actually spread a rumor throughout the other cultures and the kingdoms that this island was just full of snakes. And they worked. So then they were able to mine all this peridot for themselves, and even some of Cleopatra's collection. Now, she did have emeralds, but a lot of the other green gems actually, when it was inspected much later, it actually was peridot also. And so Egypt at the time was a huge mining source of peridot, and now Egypt is just depleted of peridot, and also that island as well. However, there is this cool peridot that we still have that's from that island, and it is around 311.8 carats, and it is in the Smithsonian Museum, and that's one of the last remaining peridots of that area. So that's what makes that stone unique, is where it's from. And the other cool thing about peridot, now this is what made me really like it, is that it's actually made in a volcano, and it has to be really far deep into the earth. And then when it shows up, it's got to be near a volcano. Well, it doesn't have to be. Like, it's in a lot of other different countries where it's mined in. So in Hawaiian mythology, the goddess Pele, when she would cry, her tears would be peridot. And so for Hawaiians, peridot was always referred to as Pele's tears. Some of the places I want to visit as a jeweler is this beach in Hawaii called the Green Sand Beach, and that's because the green sand is actually peridot. Now, Hawaii does have some of these laws where you can't take natural resources from Hawaii back to the other states, just because it's such a small island. But the idea would be cool if, like, to go there and to have some of that peridot make into an inlay ring or something. But it is, I don't know, it just kind of, the idea of it sounds really awesome to go to a beach made from gems. Hawaii's got some amazing beaches that are just more different than any parts of the world, but that's one of them. All the more reason to like peridot. And if that hasn't changed your mind, then I don't know what will. Yeah, peridot's I've been kind of leaning towards it now because it does remind me of summer, like 2005 summer. Probably because of the lime green color, which I don't see around just in general anymore. I know we don't really wear neon colors, that's not what I'm saying, but yes, it's a loud color. However, it's still a fun color. And I kind of would like to see more of it again. But I guess another excuse to wear more of it. Now, peridot, it usually is set in yellow gold, but it actually can look really nice in silver, probably because of the loud color of it. What you can also do, if you're like a cool tone, skin tone, like myself, is wear peridot next to blue or in silver. Now, if you're warm tone, then you could totally wear it in yellow gold. I don't know if you should wear it in rose gold, but I haven't experimented with that color combination, but I'm not sure about it, really. So, but I guess I don't have an opinion on it yet, but I don't know, you might be able to find something, but I doubt it. And most Peridot rings I do see, it's usually in mother's rings, because it's like they have to include the child that's born in August. So lime green just throws everything off. But it can work, but as soon as you throw Peridot in, it like completely changes the vibe, I notice. So if you made it this far, I appreciate it, and I'll be talking about September's birthstone, which that will be fun, because that birthstone has a huge long history, especially with the jewelry world. So stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching.